Hello everyone, my name is Chioma. Welcome back to my channel Anchored and Becoming. Today we are talking about grief. A couple of months ago, I lost my dad. My dad was the love of my life. My dad was my solid protector. My dad was everything to me. And in the past 40 years, I can't think of the first person to run to without thinking of my dad first. And I've realized that since I lost him, I've experienced an enormous amount of grief that I never knew existed. I had lost someone close before. I had lost so many things and so many relationships in my life, but this one hits really different. And that brings me to the point of grief. Grief is actually love that has nowhere to go to. Grief is a universal emotion, but it is clearly misunderstood by a lot of people. Grief doesn't show up the same way in every single individual. Most people experience sadness, they experience regret, they experience pain, they experience anger. So grief comes in different shades. And with my experience, I am shocked that mine came with anger and then numbness. So some days I am angry, and I am angry at my dad actually. And I say, why didn't he wait? Why didn't he give me a sign so that I could be where he was dying? I remember promising him a long time ago that I would like to hold his hand. So I was very angry. And then I said, no, I'm not going to hold him responsible for leaving. I'm going to hold God responsible. And then I directed my anger at God. And I realized that for a couple of Sundays, whenever I go to Mass, I realized that it made me cry a lot. I also said to myself, I would not stop going to church. I would not stop going to Mass. I would not stop praying. Because, number one, I realized that could be the easiest way the devil could target me and make me complacent with my faith. And two, I realized that God holds everything. So whether I'm angry at him or happy with him, it doesn't change who he is. He's always going to be God. With me, with my anger, with my rebellion and everything. So I decided, okay, I can't be angry at God. And I still can't process the grief. It's been August, about 4 months, and it is a journey. Grief is actually a process. It is not a destination. It is not where you get there and you say, oh, I'm here, I've grieved for this person, I am done and dusted. No. Some days, this grief comes in waves. One moment you are laughing, happy, chatting, talking about the person, remembering the good times, memories, you are happy and gay. The very next moment you're crashing in pain. It's like a tornado in your heart and you're bawling your eyes out. So one of the things I realized that I am trying to do with my grief is to let it out, to talk about it. And I realized I started journaling, I started writing unedited how I felt about this grief, how I felt about my dad. I'd written so many things about my dad, right from when I was in high school, secondary school. I had written so many things about him. I go back to go and read them, and I decided not to edit them to suit how I feel now. I rewrite how I feel now in a different journal. I also try to speak to someone about how I feel. And then my constant has always been my children. And because you trust Gen Zs. They are unfiltered. They say the way they experience it. They don't show their emotions. So it is easy for them to verbalize how they feel. And sometimes when they say something, this is the way I'm feeling about grandpa's death. I take a cue. I'm like, oh, that's exactly the way I feel too. Oh, is this the word for it? So I'm trying to verbalize and share when I'm having a bad day, when it is a good day, when it's not a fantastic day. But I try to keep my head above. Another thing I'm learning is trying not to judge myself. Trying not to say to myself, you're not being strong enough. My younger sister, that should be about 20 years or more ago. I was a teenager. I stayed with her in the hospital for about 2 weeks and then she died. I remember seeing my dad cry so much that I held my cry back because I was trying to protect my dad. I didn't want him to break down. I remember the morning the morning of her burial, he was asking me, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I turned and said to him, "Daddy, are you okay?" And he broke down. He used his towel. He was clean. He broke down. He was crying endlessly. And I remember one of my uncles was coming to come and say, "I said, you shouldn't be crying like this." And Choma that stayed with her in the hospital. And I turned back and I said to him, "No, allow him." But that made me staying strong for my dad and my mom, made me not to grieve my sister. And I realized that years and years and years on ending, I would remember Ngozi and I'll have a meltdown because we were in the same high school when she passed. Now, with my dad's own, I'm trying not to judge myself. I'm trying not to tell myself to be strong. I'm trying not to tell myself that, you are a tough woman, you're a tough cookie, you can handle this. No, I cannot handle it. I cannot handle it. So I give myself grace. I'm trying to give myself grace. Some days I struggle. Some days it's easy breezy. But in all, when you're grieving, understand that it is not something that would end because you have lost something or someone that you loved, that you would never ever be able to have that version of you again with anybody, with somebody, that the person that you've lost. So give yourself grace and grow in it. Another lie that I've discovered that a lot of people say is time heals. Time heals. Does time really heal? I'm here to discover that. But this is me just sharing my experience, my first Christmas without my dad. Sounds very unreal, but grief is love that has nowhere to go. So, if you are grieving anybody or anything now, always know that you probably do that for the rest of your life. Be kind to yourself. Journal. Talk to your support system. Don't say, "I have failed in this." Say, "I will go through this." And somehow you would go through it. So thank you for watching this episode. I'm hoping to see you in more episodes in 2026. And then we'll continue to learn, unlearn, and grow. Thank you.